What's
people?
going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the It's Pretty Podcast, episode number 59.
One away from our simulcast extravaganza, by the way. One
Yeah.
away from that. The big
So
60 coming next week.
before we get to
And
it,
we'll
if you
be
guys
more
are new,
and we will be more PG since we'll be simulcasted on a more PG
oh yeah.
network.
But
So it'll be
besides
more
that, if you
PG
guys are
there.
new, but if you guys are new, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure you're in the notification bell. You'll see this each and every week as we do these types of shows. Um, yeah. First things first is there has been some not say interesting, but obviously kind of recap or not say like do a full recap. But we did talk about the NWA, which hardly we ever talk about them. But if you can't tell us like who fumbled the bag,
I want to talk about. I wasn't on the video that you posted on our channel. Um,
we
if you
touched
posted
upon
it,
it
if you posted
last
it already, if you didn't post it already,
no,
I'm talking about. Oh, you didn't?
no we touched upon it a little bit on last
Oh,
episode we
I
did.
want to touch upon it a little bit more here.
Go ahead.
How mind-numbingly stupid can you be? Again, let me reiterate what I said last week. How stupid can you be? Because I watched, dude. After our show, I literally looked it up on YouTube. What the hell happened? That was blatantly obvious what he was doing in that segment. Come on now.
And
That
that's
man was sitting at a table with two other people. The table was like in like a suite, kind of like in the arena. So you had Father James Mitchell, you had another person, another wrestler or talent or whatever, and another wrestler on the other side of the table. What's on the table, you might ask? Lines of cocaine. And James Mitchell's just snorting
yeah.
that shit. Snorting it. He was snorting it. Literally snorting it. And they, and the interview and it was a segment. It was a segment the NWA written into a pay-per-view. And you wonder why the CW said nah to NWA and okay WWE, you're in.
You guys because they're gonna from my understanding is the fact that the NWA is gonna be stuck on the CW app and we other
Honestly,
reality shows. So
I honestly think if you have a deal with WWE now, cut your losses with NWA. Y'all are you should look at the NWA and say y'all are staying on YouTube. You are not going on. And I think YouTube should can them too.
well, we'll see how that really turns out. But moving to NXT though, obviously NXT, there's some things I look. I'm going to nitpick here and there, but last episode that I watched, probably for those who have seen, wasn't that bad, but wasn't great. But there's a lot of things. It was kind of a bit of a boring episode, but some solid matches from my understanding.
Wait,
Um,
what were we talking about?
NXT this yesterday, no Tuesday,
Yeah, Tuesday.
which funny enough with that episode, I know ratings doesn't read jack squat about it, but obviously the that last week's episode of Halloween Havoc Night 2 oh, almost cracked to 700,000 viewers, and that's the one thing that's one of my hypothetical questions. Like for me, the one way to improve that is try to have
Honestly,
notice.
the way that I would improve it, just keep building off of the success of Halloween Havoc. Build off of it. Get better a bit. Um, use and don't try to do like a whole Band-Aid fix where you're calling somebody down from Raw or SmackDown to boost ratings a bit. No, organically try to boost the ratings with the talent you have down at NXT. You have the talent to do it. And
And
also can the promo guys can everybody just go to promo class? Because every segment where they have to act out the segment, it's filled with bad acting still.
yeah, and
Like
that's
like like get an acting coach in there or a promo coach. Or the promo coach, whatever, you can cut promos, but the acting thing, get an acting coach in there. Get him in there.
yeah. I mean, though, let's be real. Like I said, it was not a bad episode, man. They had some solid matches with, I mean, Tozawa, and like real. And there's a lot of things. Well, there's some other things I want to kind of improve. Obviously, breakaway Noam Dar away from the metaphor bullshit that we're going on. They're going on with. I'm sorry if I'm Shawn Michaels and seen the talent that you have there, Noam Dar, who, for those who have not watched his time on the Insane Championship Wrestling down in the UK scene, know how phenomenal this dude can go in the ring. That's here nor there. But speaking of one star, Fallon Henley's down in concussion protocol after a banger of a match against Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, yeah. I hope she heals up. I know she's going to heal up because concussions are not that serious if you don't use the talent within that week frame or that 2-week frame that they're healing from it. She'll be back within a week or two.
Yeah, which.
So
look, Fallon Henley. Look, there's some more work to be done with her a little bit. Not too much from what I'm seeing.
Fallon, she can act. Fallon, she's good at the promo. She's good at the in the ring stuff. She's got a good character, like the character that she has, great character.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the guys that she works with, the tag team. Forgot their name. Brooks Jensen and the other dude.
Josh Briggs, I think his name is.
Yeah, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, like those two, they're great too. Now the whole thing with her is that I don't think she needs that much work at all. Like I don't think she needs that. Like
work. Let me rephrase. I think more fine tuning is what I meant to say.
I think the acting thing needs a bit more fine tuning, like a little bit more of like the promo skill.
I know that was a bad way of describing that. Fine tuning is the one I was looking for.
The fine tuning. She needs a little bit of fine tuning. The character's there. The promos are getting there. The segments are getting there. But the thing that I have an issue with is just the acting thing. It's a little bit.
I think that's I think it's going to come along with time. I think we're going to see some.
Well, and she's in NXT for a reason. She's developing, and I think she's developing really.
Another point that I brought back in the last few episodes.
But I will say this: the whole segment with her and Tiffany Stratton cracked me up at Halloween Havoc. She was dressing up as Tiffany Stratton at like Tiffany Stratton. I was dying laughing over that shit, dude. I was like, that shit's funny.
Well, we have. Speaking of the concussion protocol, we have somebody else on the main roster in concussion protocol, and that is Ricochet after his recent Monday Night Raw match.
Yeah, he did take a really nasty bump and hit his head, and the head bounced off the mat. I understand why he's on the concussion protocol. Like I saw the match. The match was kind of like yeah, he took a nasty bump there to get himself a concussion.
And it's actually, I'm really commending the WWE actually have implemented a concussion protocol.
They've done that. I think they had the concussion protocol since 2007. But they really didn't implement it that well until maybe or they actually didn't implement it well after 2007. They implemented it well. They banned chair shots to the head.
Thank God for that.
Any nasty fall to the head, right? We're gonna put you in the tent, pretty much. In NFL, we'll put you under concussion protocol. We'll get you checked out. If you got a concussion, we're not gonna book you for a week or two. Like you're gonna be off TV for like a week or two, and that's what I like about it. Like back in the day, you're gonna get concussed, but you're still gonna work. Hell, you had Bubba Ray Dudley finish a damn match with a concussion.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And now when guys get concussions, they throw up a red X sometimes. You're out. But
and they have
But some guys they allow to finish the match and then they just like, oh yeah, you're not gonna be booked for a week. But then like if I remember correctly, this was like 2002 in a ladder match on Raw when that happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
And literally other wrestlers had to guide him through that match, and or it could have been at Mania. It was either Mania or Raw in 2002. I know it was 2002. He had to get guided through a match. Oh no, it was Raw because it was Jericho that guided him through that match. Jericho was talking him through spots because he didn't know where he was. He's like, all right, I'm over here. Hit me up I'm like on your right. Hit me here. I'm on your
I think
left. Hit me here.
another, and I think Triple H also talked about that too, when
Kurt
when
Angle.
um when Kurt Angle got a concussion, like he could have heard him
You literally had Stephanie have to hold his hand and drag him to the ring, guide him to the ring because he was so concussed.
like he would like literally. If you're talking about getting knocked out, Kurt Angle is a prime example of getting literally concussed and knocked out at the
Like
same time,
I
man.
think that was at Mania. That was at Mania. That one.
No, that
Where
was I think on an episode of SmackDown. I think Triple H talked about.
oh wait, no, I thought that was at pay-per-view. No, SummerSlam.
It was
It
SummerSlam.
was SummerSlam. And he and Stephanie had to guide him, hold his hand and guide him down to the ring because he was so concussed he didn't even know where he was.
Yeah, and you know.
Then you had Triple H cursing out the ref because he didn't want that to happen. He didn't know it was going to happen, and I understand why he was cursing out the ref. I understand why he was cursing out Vince. I get that. I get that.
I guess it's like you could.
He was like he told the ref, just fucking tell me if he's okay to wrestle. That's what he told him.
Yeah,
just fucking tell me if he's okay. Like that's all he said to the ref.
Like I said, go back to Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho has been part of that on multiple occasions when we looked at his entire career. Like,
yeah,
who was it? Someone I can't remember his opponent, but I remember I think they busted his knee or broke his leg or something like that.
I think
who was
wait,
who was it?
Jericho? You said? Oh yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It was Neville. It was Neville. Now Pac. It was in 2016. He had busted. I think he tore it. No, he broke his leg in like 3 places that night. He broke his leg in 3 places. Could barely get up, and the ref messed up the damn the schoolboy spot. He was supposed to count to 3, but he was supposed to completely miss Neville touching the rope. But he saw it, and then Jericho got up and said and pushed him it, and he legit was like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
and then he had to keep pushing him so that the ref could just disqualify him. But really, Jericho was pissed that he couldn't finish that. The ref didn't allow him to finish the match to make sure Neville was okay. After.
And I'll say this too, for those who have not seen that match, we highly recommend go back, look at it, because boy, Neville fucked up his leg so badly. It's like, ugh.
3 places. He broke his leg in that match on 3 places, man.
He was on the shelf for what, like few
months? He was on the shelf until I think he was on the shelf until the next year, because this was 2015, like early 2016. He didn't come back to like
what, a babyface at this time.
He was a babyface. He came back when the cruiserweight division was a thing in 2017.
Oh, good lord!
But he came back as a heel because he came out after a match that Cedric had and was clapping, and then when he got into the ring, he just clocked him to turn heel.
And obviously, but yeah, but going back to what we talked about, and Jeff Jarrett actually had some comments about the that cocaine spot in WWE.
NWA.
Yeah. So he says,
"You said WWE." I don't remember WWE ever doing a freaking cocaine spot.
NWA. Shut up.
I don't even think WWE was even that stupid. Even if they were edgy, they were not that stupid to do a drug spot like that.
Yeah, and Jared says, quote, "Who is your audience? Do you not want to draw families and kids?" Would Billy and OW say, "No, I don't want kids coming to the shows"? I don't believe it's marketed that way. There's no adult rating or warrant. So yeah, as much as I know we hate Jeff Jarrett, but he ain't freaking wrong. There's no warning about that.
But here's the thing: if you knew that you were going to do that spot, and you know that kids are wrestling fans, and they'll dive into any wrestling, like, oh, there's wrestling here. There was a wrestling company I was watching on Dark Side of the Ring, right? And this is an entirely different wrestling company. That company doesn't exist. You want to know why it doesn't exist anymore? Because they were marketing it as part wrestling, part porn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's why it doesn't exist. Because Now, because you have kids who are wrestling fans who go in there and be like, all right, I like wrestling. Let me watch this new company, only to find out it wasn't really for them, and they're influenced by. And here's the thing: they think wrestling's real. Kids do. I used to think that. You used to
We
think
all did
that.
as kids.
Now, the NWA thing, kids are gonna look like, oh, it's okay to do drugs since Father James Mitchell did it. Oh, it's okay to do that because Father James Mitchell snorted cocaine in a segment on a pay-per-view. We wouldn't be up and even if there wasn't a TV deal that got taken away by them, I could see why people would be up in arms by that still, TV deal or not.
Yeah.
You
Oh
just
yeah.
don't do that as a wrestling company. You don't do that. You don't. Oh, we're gonna have a wrestler or a manager snort cocaine at a pay-per-view.
Like if this was the Attitude Era, the Attitude Era would have gotten away with that for sure.
No, no,
Back in
no, they
the
wouldn't.
90s,
No, they fucking wouldn't. They didn't even do it back then. They did not. They did not. Here's the thing. There's a limit. You can be edgy, like you can do like the whole you can do like the blood, or you can quote well back in the day, a lot of shit could be like, if they did it today, that'd be get canned. So there's still a limit of what you can do. Being edgy, you can still have blood. You can still have hardcore matches. You can still be edgy in that regard.
yeah, oh yeah.
But snort cocaine at a pay-per-view? Not even WWE did that, and they were edgy. They were even edgier in the '90s. They were edgy. And they did a lot of shit that won't fly today. But
And
here's the thing: what they did with Father James Mitchell, that wouldn't fly in any era, any damn era. You can't fight me on that. That would not, and I bet almost everyone agrees with me with this. That wouldn't fly in any era. Now, if you had a movie, if there was a movie and you had a person snorting cocaine, that's fine, because that's not a live thing. That's a movie. Everyone knows that's not real. Not even kids think movies are real. Here's what I thought: movies and TV shows, man, they're not real. But wrestling was back in the day when I was a kid.
oh yeah, I agree.
Think of the kids. Think of the damn kids. You can be edgy. You can have blood. You can have violence.
Wait,
You can have.
just keep it.
You can have. Dude, you can have freaking light tubes for all I care.
Yeah. Even though and we all can say deathmatch wrestling is not pretty much for everybody. It's a certain niche.
If you're like very squeamish and you hate blood and you hate that violence and it's basically like Saw but like wrestling in a sense, but that's the thing though. But you can have the light tubes, you can have the barbed wire, you can have all that stuff. But you got to draw the line at drug use on TV.
Yeah, even
You got to
though
draw the line there. Like, that's not good. I'm glad CW said, "Nah, we're backing out of this." Because here's the thing: they're trying to
NXT,
and they're going with NXT, and I think they should have went with
funny
NXT.
enough about that, it was reportedly supposed to be up to or over an 8-figure deal for the NWA to be on CW, and they fucked that up.
So you messed up an 8-figure deal. An 8-figure deal.
Pretty much, they fumbled the bag so hard.
Like, how do you
If you're going to
like
tell
how
me
do
that
you mess up an 8-figure deal? How do you mess that up? Oh yeah, let's have one of our managers snort fucking cocaine on a pay-per-view.
and I will say this too, I'm definitely going to put some blame on Billy Corgan. First of all, you're the owner.
Putting some blame on it, he deserves all the damn blame. He's the one that said okay to this shit.
You ain't. And I'm.
He probably made it up himself. I don't even think James Mitchell even wanted to do that shit.
And I'm surprised Camille Brickhouse and Bram haven't left. That's
honestly, if I was Camille and Bram, I'd have been like, "You're gonna do this shit? Drug use on a pay-per-view? No."
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of like stars from there leave Because it's not the same as it used to be, or like what like the older wrestling heads would remember. Guys like
Now here's the thing: you literally made a champion. You gave a guy the world championship, a guy who said he was going to kill his kid if he came out as gay or as another gender.
oh yeah,
Do you know how shit that is? Do you know how shit that is? That's your first strike. Your second strike, well, your first strike was shitty booking. The second strike was that. Now the third strike is that you have a manager snort cocaine on a pay-per-view. Billy Corgan. The fuck is wrong with you? The hell is wrong with you? Oh, fans like controversy. Not that fucking much controversy.
not this day and age.
Not this day and age. If it was like 2003 or something, and you want to do something edgy and cool, yeah. But still, even back then, that much controversy, that would have got you canned.
Oh, for sure.
Would have got you canned off of TV. And here's the thing. Now you have CW backing out, kinda. You're on their app. I think they should just can you completely. And I don't even think any other TV network should even get you for all the shit you did. Now, 2019, that was a good year for NWA. I like that year. You know, bringing that TV show, bringing that studio feel of the 1980s back. Like, I kind of like that. But fuck that up as well.
And
You changed this set. You changed this set, which is a lot darker. It's harder to see people in that shit.
It's boring as hell.
It's boring. The shows have become boring as shit.
And I will die on this hill. Like,
you had EC3 and that asshole that I was talking about earlier in a match that was a complete dumpster fire. None of them could wrestle.
Oh, boy.
That match, they're moving slow as molasses.
I feel bad for anybody who actually even attends an NWA event. That's my thing.
Bro.
That's just a wait.
And
like
here's the thing.
Telling you where to go. But...
And here's the thing, though, Rob. Speaking of the fanfare, it's dropped off since 2019. It's dropped off.
Oh.
9 times out of 10, any other video that I see here on this platform on YouTube, they are crapping all over NWA.
And rightfully so.
They are crapping all over them, and they deserve to get crapped on. They do. They do.
Yeah. And the freaking guy, and the company itself is just, like I said, it's been a shell of from its glory days. Some of have the all-time greats in Harley Race, to like Dustin.
Yeah, all those guys. And then
And then you have Camille Brickhouse, which is one of your longest reigning women's champions, and then that came to an end.
Camille Brickhouse is carrying this damn company on her back by herself with her husband. By herself. Nobody else in that roster is next to no. Freaking Aaron Rex ain't doing shit. He's a manager now.
Oh yeah,
he ain't doing shit.
Damian Sandow.
Yeah, he's doing jack shit there. He's a manager.
Speaking with Aaron Rex / Damian Sandow, at least WWE actually gave him something to do. At least it was hilarious.
They gave him, but the NWA's giving him something to do too. But here's the thing. He's a pro wrestler. Why are you putting him as a manager role? Make him wrestle. He's a good wrestler. Have him wrestle. Unless he wanted to do the manager thing, but I haven't really kept up on NWA because NWA freaking sucks now. But that's the thing. There's a plethora of issues that NWA has, controversy after controversy after controversy, and it's killing them. It's killing them.
And honestly, I will not be surprised if that historic promotion goes.
This is why Anthem canned Billy Corgan. They canned him after the Impact thing because the whole controversy thing was getting into play, and the whole
and I remember at the time too, he was also president of Impact along with Dixie fucking Cart. Let's be real. What do you know?
And then he made one. Here's the thing: he made some shit booking decisions when he was at Impact. Like holy shit, his booking was bad. It was bad.
Me and Tar could attest that I could not sit through a fucking Impact show when Billy Corgan was there. It's like
the only thing he got right was giving us Rosemary and Decay. That was it. And even then, he fucked that up.
And now Rosemary's back to her generic self. It's like, why?
But here's the thing, though: the fans love her, but that's the thing, though. she's kind of like, in a way, being booked like Bray Wyatt was when he was the Fiend. You
Mm.
have himself, and then you have this scary character. You have Courtney Rush, this is her real self, and then you have Rosemary. I kind of like that idea. I kind of do. So the booking of
Now,
her is fine. They didn't really kill off the Rosemary character. I know she's gonna be back to that character eventually when she turns heel.
it's not just Billy Corgan with Anthony Candle. They also got rid of Dixie Carter too, which you can see the improvement of.
Dixie Carter, but here's the thing though, Dixie Carter was also a problem. So you go from one shit end of the stick to another shit end of the stick. So you
Yeah,
get rid of one shit person and give another shit person the job. Like, they just fucked it up. They messed it up.
and why do you think
Honestly, they should have gave it to Corny. They should have gave it to Cornette. They should have gave it to Cornette.
even though no
He would have
Cornette,
been. He would have been good. He would have been good. Honestly,
oh
yeah.
Cornette, as much
He
as
would
I
have
know,
been. He would have heavily favored the '80s style, but honestly, I think they need to get rid of Billy. Honestly, better thought here. Since he likes the '80s wrestling style and the
give
and
Cornette NWA
give Cornette the NWA. Give him that so the fans can
because
because when Corgan initially gave them that NWA '80s type feel, fans liked it. Cornette would bring that back again, and
and
it would make the company thrive again,
that's the
like
thing.
they did in 2019.
It's like oh Cornette's is a crappy booker. Say nah, I would disagree because if you look at Impact of say with the mid 2000s, he actually booked that show for TNA Impact really well.
Yeah, yeah, guys. He wasn't just an on-screen authority figure. He was legit one of the writers on that team.
And boy, and he made some memorable moments in the mid 2000s with TNA Impact as well. Like you can't tell me other. And granted, yes, as much as I know we criticize him for him being out of touch, but it would make more sense to have actually a competent person to actually write the show, know how to book it, who actually knows how to book shows. Because let's be real, the fact that we've seen people who don't know how to do it is, well, let's just say it's trash. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
It's trash inside of a flaming dumpster fire.
Yeah. But
It's
speaking,
flaming trash. Here's what I think it is. It's flaming trash inside of a flaming dumpster fire. It's double the fire, bro, and it's double the trash. So yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And honestly, I'm glad the CW said nah to the NWA and yes to the WWE because there's just so much controversy with NWA. It's ridiculous.
and they give it straight to NXT, which quite honestly, I don't mind NXT actually moving to the CW, even though
No, cause also look what's happening. They because CW in other states they give it to young like the developmental territories like like OVW in Oklahoma.
right.
They give it to them. They give it to them. They give it to I think Memphis Wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee has a CW deal for the local market. But I honestly think WB again kills the territories. But then again, in a way, it doesn't because the wonky time slots and like the 2 a.m. thing or the 1 a.m. thing, like Ring of Honor used to do. Like I was sitting there watching Ring of Honor at like 1 in the morning locally
Yeah,
on TV. Like why is the next episode of Ring of Honor at 1 in the morning? But anyway, like
and that's and honestly,
but now you have that feel a little like the territorial type of like minor league type feel. CW has it, but nationally now.
and plus, I
And
mean,
we haven't seen a national wrestling show on CW since Friday Night SmackDown in like 06, 07,
yeah,
when
God,
WB and UPN merged.
it was
And
CW
they
and I think was it Warner Brothers? It was CW and Warner Brothers, if I remember that.
it was
Merged. No,
no it was CBS and Warner because CBS owned UPN, and then Warner Brothers owned the WB network. So they merged. They merged and called themselves CW. And the CW is I think it means CBS / Warner
right,
basically.
that makes sense.
So that's how you it's the CW, CBS and Warner. The
Yeah,
CBS and Warner network. That's what it's called. in longer terms.
Damien,
Um,
exactly. They didn't have no fucking brain.
exactly, Damien. Exactly. You are exactly
Then
right,
again,
my friend.
even though
If they had a freaking brain and did not air and didn't even have that segment, period, they would be on CW right now. They would be on CW in 2024. They would be in that time slot that NXT is. They would have that Tuesday time slot. They would probably be competing with NXT.
I think NXT will still beat them nonetheless. But that's still
I
like
mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like NWA is like more
and
minor league
besides, like
system.
who wants to watch the boring ass? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's great.
NWA was dying regardless because of the booking decisions, but like,
No one's gonna
but
watch it
they kind of put the nail in the coffin with the cocaine thing.
unless you're a Camille Brickhouse fan. But that's the only exception
Dude,
to that.
that's the only exception as to why. That's the only matches that I watch from NWA is her matches because she's great.
Honestly, I would, if I'm Camille, I would ask her for out of her contract because she has not been a free agent since 2019.
And dude,
That's
in the ring, she's freaking awesome. She's awesome in the ring, dude.
oh, fantastic.
Phenomenal in the ring. Like she's that powerhouse wrestler. She's the powerhouse wrestler. And honestly,
I would not be surprised she went to TNA in this new regime of TNA wrestling. Boy,
that's what I was. That's what I told you last. That's what I told you last week, brother. I said, watch her go to TNA and her and Brent. No, here's how I think would happen. Right, this is the sequence. Bram goes first. Camille comes up second. You know, she'll follow suit with her husband. She'll follow suit.
And I've watched some of Brand's matches on Impact. He's not that bad in the ring.
Dude, I watched. Dude, Bram's carrying NWA too. I watch his matches too, and he's great too. He's awesome. And I also love the whole. I love the Halloween episode where I think it was Camille is Miss Elizabeth and Bram is
oh yeah
Macho Man. That was cool. That was really cool.
But seeing Camille Brickhouse with that TNA Women Knockouts division,
dude,
that's gonna be stupidly good.
I've already been picturing this in my mind since I said it. Imagine a Camille Brickhouse versus Jordan Grace match. Oh boy, sign me up.
And Jordan Grace is nothing but short of fantastic in the ring too.
Dude,
and I've been impressed.
Dude, she got freaking buff as shit now.
And this is the thing too. I will give anything a ton of respect for them. The fact that they are going to try to just bring about TNA, but also kind of clean up the mistakes that Corgan and Dixie Carter left behind. And
they actually already did that. I actually watched a few episodes of Impact lately. Impact's been really good lately. Impact's been really, really good. I think they need to get out of that TV deal with Access. No, not everybody has Access TV. They need to get out of that deal. Do you see Cross going to AW? No. I would say more. I think he's staying with WWE for a little bit. I
say give it another year or two. If it doesn't really, if he fizzles out in that time span, I think.
Yeah, I'll give it a year. If he fizzles out, then I might see an AEW debut. But then again,
or go back to Impact or TNA.
Then again, I would bring him back to Impact because that man was a fucking beast in Impact. And I like Impact when he was Killer Cross in Impact. Oh hell yeah!
And Scarlett actually meant something as well at the same time.
No, I don't. I don't think Scarlett meant anything to Impact because they sexualized the shit out of her. She was there.
Yeah, well,
they didn't cut him in. No, they cut him in that first budget cut, but they brought him back. He's back. He's been back for a year. When Triple H got the company from Vince, he brought him back. He's back, man. He didn't get cut.
So what's funny enough about that, and Jared actually said this about a month ago. He actually told it. So this has been interesting. So Jeff Jarrett actually talked about this on his My World podcast. Pretty much, he told Anthem officials several years ago that they should bring back, that the Impact Wrestling brand was it, and they should have brought back TNA. So pretty much, Jeff Jarrett was all in favor. Was trying to
thank you.
His best.
Honestly, Yeah, because if I remember correctly, there was a report that came up recently that he wanted to do that with the GFW thing, that the GFW storyline. It was gonna be Team GFW versus Team Impact, and he would win, but then he would rebrand Global Force Wrestling into TNA, and that's how we bring that. That's how he would bring back. That's how he would have brought TNA if that went through. But they said no. They went with the Global Force Wrestling thing. That fizzled out. He left the company um, because he hated the direction of the company, and they went
Can't
back to
blame him.
Impact. I can't blame him either. I'd be pissed. Like,
Jeff Jarrett's
dude,
company, after
really?
all, he's the one who started TNA, anyways.
I'm like, dude, really? This is my company to start out, and you're telling me
And
I can't
yes,
bring
we
back
are.
TNA for the fans? Come on.
And yes, the only thing we hate about Jeff Jarrett because he was kind of hot. Well, then again, that was in that
He
he was
hogged, dude. The early Jeff Jarrett in the 2000s, he was a hothead because he was always hogging the NWA belt. He was hogging it. No one else could win it. If you won the title within a week, Jeff Jarrett wins the title again.
yeah,
Like
but
it was, but then he changed his. He had to change of heart and said, "I'm gonna give it to Christian." And then he was like, "I ain't gonna touch the belt."
and then back then, this is also back then when actually NWA actually had some comp. Actually, was actually pretty decent back in the day.
And this is when they
Before,
were legit. They were legit kind of competition, but kind of not because they're staying in their own lane. Because they were on Thursdays at the time. If I remember correctly, they were on,
yeah,
which they are now. They're back on Thursdays, but they were on Thursdays then. Or no, they had the AEW time slot back in the day. They had Wednesdays at 8 o'clock on Spike back in the day. Remember
yeah.
Spike TV guys?
Bro,
Um,
God, I'm old. Just remember that.
fucking
God, I
dude.
mean, shows like
And as soon as TNA left, Spike's ratings went down. And they had to rebrand to Paramount. I'm like, what? Anyway,
yeah,
but like, yeah, it was pretty bad that what you call it? It was pretty bad that Jeff Jarrett was like wanting TNA back, but Dixie Carter and Impact
what
said
this is.
no.
This was back on
This was
October
24. This was 2014, 2015 when GFW became the company, the Impact's company
Oh yeah,
for like not
and
even
then
like
before,
6 months, not even
and
a
then yeah,
month, and they were back to Impact. Like what?
forget that Bruce Pritchard was also in charge of GFW for boy for whatever freaking reason.
And he was
Till
a bad authority, dude. He was a bad authority figure.
until you had to bring
And
back
then
Jim.
hell, you brought back Jim Cornette, who was a better authority figure, come in and fire his ass.
And Jim, as much as we said Jim Cornette's out of touch with wrestling, but he has. Well, let's be real. What do you need? Somebody that actually knows the business inside and out. Jim Cornette's that guy. And yes, I know it. Like I said, at times
He
can
can.
be out of touch.
He's also a really good manager. I also like the whole shtick that he had back in the 80s when he had a freaking tennis racket. He was like wailing people with it.
Yeah,
That shit was
but
funny.
Jeff Jarrett says, quote, I mean, on this topic alone, I could go down so many rabbit holes and so many avenues. I had heard rumblings, boy, do you really want to open up this can of words? Yes, I'm surprised in a few different ways that the conversations I had with Anthem, I'll just leave it at that. All the way up to the highest levels and all those
See,
is
I
that
see why I see the anger there. I see the anger. So it was when Anthem bought out. Anthem told him no. So he's so to sum it up, because you don't have to finish the whole thing that he said, but the whole quote itself. But what he's really saying is like, really, you said no to me, but you say yes to Scott D'Amore when
yeah,
I've been wanting to give the fans TNA back for a better part of like 6-7 years.
yeah.
Like really? You say no to me, the guy who created this damn company, and then you say yes to Scott D'Amore, somebody who worked for me. Come on,
And Scott
like,
Demorse, and we could, and I will admit to you,
I know he's not hating on Scott D'Amore. I know he's not. It's just like y'all are hypocrites, and he's showing the people on this show, telling them like, dude, Anthem, the heads at Anthem are a bunch of hypocrites, and I agree
and
wholeheartedly.
that's
I agree with that.
and when you look at TNA as a whole, when Jeff Jarrett started, Jeff Jarrett actually put on has some. And let's be real,
Bro,
Jeff Jarrett, as much as we hate him hogging the belt, dude was still a phenomenal talent at that time in the
he
early to mid
was.
2000s.
He was.
And
Yes, he was.
and he's put on some. And yeah, when you look back at it, it's like,
The
I mean,
booking decisions, he was kind of a selfish prick, but like the matches
but
itself, they were great.
he brought up some solid talent. I mean, Ron the Truth killing R-Truth anybody at the top when he was at the top of his game.
Yeah,
Prime AJ Styles.
he trusted him with the belt. He brought in freaking Ken Shamrock at one point. He had the belt.
Um,
Rhino he brought in. He brought in Rhino. He brought in Raven. Raven was great in TNA. Raven was great.
Yeah.
He had a second. Dude, he had a second leave when he went to TNA. Raven did.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
and also
after that failed WWE run, like they brought him back. They're like, yeah.
Also at the same time, the goated commentary team of the late Don West and Mike Tenay for a little bit too.
Bunch of Hall of Famers right there. The Hall of Fame commentary team.
And you also had and I remember this too. Jimmy Wayne Yang was he was. I think he went by a different name when he was with TNA.
He was there for like a year. He was in the Elvis thing.
I looked at it, I was like, is that your local Asian redneck Jimmy Wang Yang that I see? I was like, oh hell no.
No, it's not. That wasn't as bad as WWE doing some racist bullshit and made him in like part of like a Yakuza gimmick with freaking Tajiri and 03. When he was basically a Yakuza member.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And unfortunately, we're going to have to get. And I really hope.
And that lasted dude. I watched that back. That lasted like a month, and then he was off TV.
I'm trying to think. But
he was off TV. He was off TV and sent to OVW, which was the developmental territory at the time for WWE. But the other guy got fired. There's another guy that group.
And what's funny enough about OVW, they actually been been interesting to watch the last couple of years, and it's kind of crazy.
Thank you, Al Snow, for that one. He knows his shit. I'm telling you that right now. Al Snow knows his shit.
Even though as a wrestler, it's been I'm still mind fucked about that.
It was just a cameo. It was just a cameo.
It's not
for fans to go, oh, there it is. It's Snitsky. It was just something for nostalgia purposes. It was nothing. But he's not really that old. I mean, he's more of like maybe like 30s, 40, like probably like late 30s, early 40s at the time.
Yeah,
like now.
Don't even ask me about his two WWE ECW run with all freaking babyface bald headed crap they were pulling off back in 06.
His babyface bald headed and his teeth were grimy.
It just didn't really make it.
They painted his teeth, dude. They painted his teeth, and they shaved his head.
Yeah.
Huh? What kind of gimmick is that?
Oh yeah, Snitsky's 53, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's old. Yeah, he's old. You're right, Damien. Never mind, he's old. Why did that was just a cameo. I mean, it's whatever. It's a cameo. I can't be too mad at that. But yeah, he's old.
I mean,
which dates me, which completely dates freaking me. But my favorite moment of Snitsky was when he gave his best Pat McAfee. Punk kicking a baby into the stands. It was a baby doll.
Yeah. And what's funny enough about Snitsky,
I recognized him when he said the phrase, "It wasn't my fault," because that was his thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They actually made T-shirts back in the day too, with that saying on the front.
It wasn't my fault. I wanted that shirt too.
And let's be honest, I think Kane and Snitsky, when that feud was going on, I think that's still criminally underrated. I don't give a shit.
That was a good feud, but the storyline itself makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's cringy
because it was like in the beginning of the storyline, he was a heel because he stole Lita from Matt Hardy, which is kind of ironic because somebody else did that a year later or in that year. But yeah, it was like he stole Lita from Matt Hardy, and then he got Lita pregnant, and then she had a miscarriage, and then Snitsky, for some reason, in the middle of it, Punk kicked a fucking baby doll across the damn arena.
Yeah, trust me, we're going to get to that.
Dude,
Once
it just progressively the storyline progressively
it just got cringy
got
afterward.
it progressively got crazier and crazier, and in between it was the same storyline. Kane had a face turn in the middle of the shit.
Yeah, which never made sense
I'm
to
like,
me.
what? Like,
But
dude, it was in the middle of the storyline. He started off as a heel, stealing a person's girlfriend, and then like he gets the girl pregnant, and then in the middle of it, he gets attacked by Snitsky. He turns face. I'm like, what the fuck? And then at the end, of course, the whole thing. He feuds for some reason. Kane is feuding with Edge because of real life situation when he should have been feuding with Matt Hardy.
yeah, it was just all ass
It was
backwards. Basically.
at that point. At that point, it was all over the place. It was like, okay,
Because like
this is
on
getting.
paper, you had something there.
You
You
had
had it
something
on
there, but then you went like left turn, right turn, fucking U
the
turn.
wrong turn Albuquerque, basically. Like it was just all over the place. I
You're
was
in
like,
Albuquerque, and then you're in Albuquerque 1 minute, then you're in fucking Alaska the next.
yeah. But
It
speak,
was it was it was it was like a really wonky and like all over the place story. I did not like it. I
yeah,
liked it in the beginning, but it was like really all. I hope so. This is getting really ridiculous, John L. I think he needs to cash in.
that's it.
I'm like, yo,
It's
WWE, we're waiting. Like,
but
like,
stay
for the last like month or so, there's been like, he's cashing in. He's cashing in, and then something happens. It's
and
like,
there's
dude,
we see nothing
can he
yet.
have a cash in? Can he win the damn belt already? Damn.
I mean, at some point, it's quite honestly, it's making that entire Money in the Bank briefcase look like a complete freaking joke at that point.
And at the same time, they painted the shit purple and put Senior on the freaking briefcase.
Yeah, doesn't
It's
make
really
sense.
stupid. It's gotten
But
stupid. But back to
like I
the
said, you
Snitsky
mentioned this.
thing.
He's actually still wrestling to this day at 53.
Yes, yes. I remember, dude. I remember when he came back to wrestling in the limelight in like 2014 on Impact. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh shit, that's Snitsky. I haven't seen him since like '08. Like, oh shit. Like, I was like really like freaking out. I think you need to leave the Judgment Day first and then cash in. I think that's no. Here's how I would do it, John L. I would have him cash in, win the belt, then Finn gets pissed, kicks him out, and then he
and then
inserts
he
JD. Then he
because
would officially insert JD into the fold as a member.
yeah, I was going to touch upon that because we see the last handful, maybe like the last few
You
months
see
or
a lot
so.
of tension going on. You see a lot of tension. You see,
Not just the tension, you
uh,
see slowly seeing JD slowly get integrated within the Judgment Day, and
yeah, you see a lot of like tension. Damien doesn't like that Finn befriended JD. JD is trying to be all buddy buddy with them all, and Damien ain't having it. He's always yelling at JD for no reason. Like there's a lot of factors in it, and I think it's going to lead to, and hopefully it does, him cashing in to spite Finn, and then Finn kicks him out,
speaking
and
of that
then
too, speaking with David Priest, minus him not cashing it, but he's been getting a lot of praise backstage from a lot of people in the company
dude, he's getting a
for.
lot of praise from fans. Dude, I like the guy.
I
I
mean, no
see
matter
Sammy
what.
and Priest fighting for the. I don't see Sammy winning the damn thing. I don't, Damien. I really don't.
Yeah, they tried doing
Um,
that once before. They did that once before, and that was kind of fucking stupid, if I'm
no,
not
they did it
mistaken.
once before because the guy who won the briefcase didn't deserve to win the briefcase. That was Otis.
Yeah,
Then they had a match where his best friend Tucky, all right, turned on him. And here's the problem I had with that: there was no why, and there was no match. He turned on him, and then he was off TV. Huh? So
yeah,
you keep Otis on TV. He got his shit rocked by his former best friend. You're not even gonna visit that. You're just gonna just take Tucker off
and
TV.
trust me, like we said, and yeah, trust me, it's a trash concept when you look at it. Really,
It's a trash concept. If the person who initially won the briefcase deserves it, if the person that doesn't, If
or
the
that
fans
doesn't.
don't think that, if the person doesn't think that if the fans don't think the person that won the case deserves it, then do a match. Have the other person win against the guy who doesn't deserve it. They did it with Mr. Kennedy and Edge.
Yeah, I forgot
But
about
here,
that. No,
you want to know
no,
why
yeah,
they did it? Hold on, let me finish. Do you want to know why they did that with Mr. Kennedy and Edge? It was because Mr. Kennedy got caught admitting that he was taking drugs I think on a news program, and he was suspended. So they said, "Oh no, what are we going to do? He's the Money in the Bank briefcase winner." Edge had to do it because they were going to have him cash in on Taker. They were going to have Mr. Kennedy do what he did and cash in on Taker. But obviously that went to Edge. Edge cashed in on Taker. He takes Mr. Kennedy's spot essentially
and pretty
because
much,
Mr.
as I was
Kennedy
saying that.
because Mr. Kennedy messed up.
I think I think Mr. Cameron did he come out and say, "Oh, right, this is what he
He
actually
went
had to
on
do."
a news. Yeah, he went on
Oh,
it. I think he went on.
steroids.
It was during dude. It was during the Chris Benoit thing. He went on there to talk about the drug issue.
Yeah, and what we're gonna say this
And
too. That
and
was a
it was no,
poor
no, no,
time.
no, 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 no. Wait a minute. It was during the drug ring that WWE was getting caught
Yeah,
with
exactly.
that. The drug ring,
He
and
was flatly open a minute about that. It's
he was
like,
like,
oh
"Yeah, I'm part
no,
of it." Like he went out and told, and the news
he
reporter
just
said,
flat out said, it's
"Like,
like,
dude, this is how it went." The news reporter asked, "Were you a part of it?" He goes, "Yeah, I was part of it." Are
I
you
was like,
done?
oh, I was like,
Are you done?
oh, because trust me,
Wasn't
because
he? Wasn't he hurt as well? I think in that case he was.
yeah, I think he was
He
still,
was
I
hurt,
think it was
but it
full
wasn't
concussion
a serious enough injury to where he would have to drop the
or
briefcase. But as
yeah,
soon as he said what he said on that news program,
yeah,
fuck you,
that
drop the
was that was
case, drop the case right now, because
that was the
you ain't
biggest
you
no
ain't gonna be back for another year or so, another six
and ever
months.
since- and I think at the same after that he became irrelevant since then. After that,
No, he didn't become irrelevant. He was still a highly touted after star at that point. What really fucked him up was that he injured Orton in that tag match, and
oh
Orton was
yeah,
pissed because he legit slammed Orton when he shouldn't have. He should have just protect when you yeah it was a combination. It was the Benoit thing and the drug ring thing because the drug ring thing tied into Benoit. So I
yeah.
was right both times. I was right both times. It was like a drug ring thing and like
Always
you
is
know
he suffered the he did all
it
the
tied
double
in.
win.
It tied into it. It was like a little bow that tied into it. It was like a drug ring thing at the same year that the Benoit thing happened. Um,
Oh
but but he got fired because he legit injured Orton, and Orton got pissed, told the
I think
boss,
also
and the
we talked about
boss
that. Mr. Kennedy was a little bit stiff in the ring at the
he was
same
wait,
time.
and Orton was like, dude, this guy is way too stiff. He is way too stiff in the ring. He is hurting people. He did it before. I talked to other people. He did it before. He's way too
Yeah,
stiff.
it was just it was bad.
It was
It's
bad. And it was so bad. I think the two other times he was suspended, it was for drugs. This was the third
yeah,
strike. Him stiffing somebody because he didn't like somebody or whatever it was. And that was the third strike, so he got fired. Went to Impact.
and
But
ever
that's that whole thing though. Was he
yeah
got fired because of the drug? That was the reason why Mr. Kennedy had to drop the case to Edge in '07. How did so many superstars get away with taking steroids? The reason why the reason that's one of Vince's boys too, which is also
that's a big
that's
no
not
no.
good. That's like hurting Cena. Yeah, you're gonna get canned for
Oh
that.
boy,
Um,
that's gonna piss off a lot of Cena fans if that were the case.
but
But
then
let's
again, says accidentally hurt Cena. He didn't get canned for it, so he was fine. As long as you apologize, you're fine. That's what anything. That's what any job. If you accidentally hurt somebody, you got to apologize, and he didn't, so he got fired. But how many superstars got away with taking steroids?
they didn't snitch basically. Well,
It's not that they didn't snitch. Before 2007, they really didn't have like a drug program. where it was like, all
Yeah,
right,
they
if you
didn't
did
have to
drugs, you're suspended for 30
what we're
days,
doing now.
whatnot. Vince allowed it because he wanted the guys to look buffer, look bigger. He liked the bigger guys, the big. He wanted the wrestlers to look like superheroes,
Yeah.
the rah superheroes, like the Hulk. Um, and he also was back in the '90s distributing drugs to
Oh
talent.
yeah.
And he nearly got arrested for it, but he paid his way out. Um, and 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 then that just kept going, and then he was part of this drug ring, um, in the 2000s, where he was just distributing drugs to the talent. Mr. Kennedy got it. Uh, Benoit got it. Eddie got it before, like a week before he died. He got it. Um, I
It was hard.
forgot who else had it, but there was like so many talent that got. I think.
All we can say is that's kind of it. We always
and,
look
and
back at
also too, you had Angle taking pain pills for
and
3 years straight, from
and
like
I think that was
'03 to like '05, and then WWE said, you know what, you're fired anyway, because when you put a drug program in your wrestling company, they didn't, but it's not really a drug program in this speak. It's like
it's like
it's a wellness
if
policy. If
you
you if
violate
you if you violate it, you're suspended for 30 days. If you
and
violate it
also
a
you have to
second, here's how it works now. If you violate the wellness policy, if you do drugs, you're suspended for 30 days. You got to go to rehab. Or no, it's 30 days. You're off TV. You're back. 60 days. You're off TV. You're back. Third strike. You're fired.
and I know and we see and yes and obviously we see nowadays it's changed. And to
Now it's like if you do drugs, you're suspended for 30 days. You got to go to rehab for a week. 60
if you
days
do hard
rehab.
drugs,
Hard
that's
drugs, you're a freaking can. There's no 30-day or 60-day. You're just can. Riddle.
but and we'll say this too: the wellness policy didn't come after Eddie passed away, and that's where
It,
that thing
yeah, when Eddie passed, the wellness policy came into effect there.
because because me
They
because me
didn't. They
Tyler
didn't implement, but they didn't implement a concussion protocol until Benoit died, because
and
his brain turned to mush.
yeah, and trust me, when
Um,
me and Tyler when we do our What's Your Watch parties, we just cringe at the chair shots to the head. It's like, thank God we moved on from that. It's like,
dude,
oh
I
God,
watched. Dude, I watched a pay per view and no, dude, no, dude, I watched a pay per view. It was Vengeance '05. It was Mr. Kennedy versus Undertaker.
oh yeah, I
Undertaker
remember that.
wails the shit out of Mr. Kennedy.
It's
Chair
like,
breaks, it bends.
oh,
And
ooh,
my body just like tensed up. I'm
just
like,
makes me shake. It's
ew.
like the fact this was even a thing back then, prior
And
to
it was a
'07.
thing where it was like chair shots to the head, no problem. But now it's like, yeah, you can't do that no more. Now, other
Because
companies, they still do it, and I still don't like it. I wish other
that
companies would
it should be
implement,
implemented all across professional wrestling. I'm
yeah,
sorry, that's the way I look at it. Just for
because
safety
like,
purposes.
because guys can go a bit too hard with the chair. They can go a bit too hard. Taker went a bit
And
too hard. If he thought that you stepped him before the match, he's grabbing a chair and wheeling your ass with it.
I think was it Edge? I think Edge might have taken. No, who was it? It was a Hell in a Cell
Somebody
match.
took liberties on him. It was in the 2000s. Somebody took liberties on him,
I
stiffed
think
him, and then he just
because
took a chair and whaled him.
yeah, as a receipt, and
Yeah.
boy, that was a vicious.
Wrestlers get away with it, with everything, because back then social media, it's not really social media, Damien. It's not. It's not, man. It's not social
It's
media. Social media, I do think, in an extent though, do come into play with that. But you had players back in the day get suspended for weed. Look at what's his face from Ricky Williams. Was social media there around then? No. What, you had like what, MySpace, which barely had anything on it.
yeah,
Um, that's all you had. Social media
but
wasn't really that big when he got suspended. Now, did social media come into play a little bit now? Yes.
but I but
I
yeah,
feel
but
like I feel like He'll probably be back soon. It's not like he did anything wrong. He was just in he didn't start the fight. Punk did. So I think Punk would have been
And that
the
is true.
internet.
Damon.
That is
It was social
true
media
too.
too.
That is true too. The internet wasn't popular back then, but people still got suspended for shit
Yeah,
because the
there was.
league, whatever league it is or whatever company it is, they still find out. When
Yeah, through
when uh
testing.
when Angle was popping pills back in the day, they found out. They fired him.
And yeah, I mean, we seem to most others. Well, look, Jeff Hardy is look is we all know
Jeff
he's the most.
Jeff Hardy back in 2011 was just a complete idiot. He showed up. He showed up to a pay per view in 2011 high as fuck, dude.
Yeah, and
Sting
does
got
that.
pissed. He goes, and I think a fan yelled, "This is bullshit," and he looked at the fan and goes, I know, this is bullshit." He was pissed. Um, no, Punk did attack him. Punk did attack him backstage, Damien. He did. Because Perry said something in a match about glass. Oh, this is real glass, Punk. You should learn Crimea River, right? Yeah, he said words, but Punk should have went and attacked him. He did. Oh,
Yeah, and
you
it's
watched Vengeance 05, Jono?
oh,
Dude,
it's
I swear, I
oh
swear,
god.
your mom had the right reaction, man. Like,
Um,
I would have been like looking at somebody. If somebody showed me that match, I would have been like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
yeah,
Like,
and honestly, kudos to WWE actually finally actually putting a stop to that because yeah, that's besides the point. But moving on, before I know we kind of got off the beaten track a little bit. Well, with SmackDown going to USA, back in 2024, it will actually mark a change for the West Coast. So West Coast viewers are going to have, I think, they're going to have it much easier to capture SmackDown than when it did on Fox because I don't think you had like to wait like a day after or something like that.
it's gonna be a bit easier. Well, on the West Coast, no, on the West Coast, it runs the same thing. 8 o'clock on the East, and they just cycle it back. They'll air it live on the East, air it pre-recorded on the West. It'll always work like that, Rob. It'll always work like that.
That's
Doesn't
weird.
matter what network it's on, it'll always work like that.
But they're but actually going back to TNA a little bit too. I actually brought this was actually about 6 days ago. But there's going to be some major changes coming to TNA. Um,
What? Well, Damien, I got a question. Were you there? Were you there? How would you know what happened with that? How would you know that he attacked him from behind? You don't know that.
but
What we know is that Punk instigated a fight because he was pissed at what Jack Perry said, and he was fired for it. Can we let that go?
but yeah. But moving on. With TNA making its comeback as TNA Wrestling, not Impact, which thank God me and Tara are praising for that. But Scott Demore actually did talk about some of the changes that we might going to be seeing going forward in 2024. Basically, he pretty much says, the pace is going to be quicker. There's going to be shake up talent wise. That you're going to see some positive changes. Like they're going to try to push limits, like with the Ultimate X match. That's probably the most underrated concept that TNA has had in its entire history.
They've
Kicking
always
them
had
out,
ultimate, dude, but they've always had ultimate X matches.
they do, but it's
They still,
they're
but
gonna,
that's not a big deal. They've always had ultimate X matches. They always did, even when they were
but they're gonna,
Impact. So
and
that you can, so that y'all can just throw away as old news. But I don't believe reports. I don't believe in reports, Damien. Can we please just put him in timeout?
there you go. But moving on, sticking with TNA a little bit. Like I said, it's not newsworthy, but I do want to talk more on TNA a little bit. It's kind of crazy seeing like some of the OGs still perform at the high game. The Motor City Machine Guns is one of them. Um, who else am I thinking of that's still there? That's an OG from the older days. That's not
Rhino.
Rhino
Yeah,
St.
but
Paul.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I think
They
now
got really got.
they have to put more focused on the exhibition again. To me, it's become very make hard now. You know, you don't
I
see
mean,
the exhibition talent cashing in for occupancy anymore. You don't see
yeah,
that.
which which stinks because the exhibition always had some phenomenal talent. Whether it's Chris
You
Bay
had
is one of them, Ace
yeah,
Austin.
Chris Bay, Ace Austin, yeah.
Even go back to the older days, guys like
Freaking
oh
Saban was
crap.
one of them.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Um,
about it. And Frankie Kazarian is an OG.
yep, Frank
I completely
Kazarian.
forgot about it. I completely forgot he went to the East.
You had Austin Aries before he fucked his career up. You had
Oh
Austin
yeah,
Aries.
but
Um,
it's
you had the first exhibition champion, brother. You had AJ Styles.
and I'm if you're a
AJ
TM,
Styles, man.
I swear to God, I hope they bring back the same color scheme as the logo because that would be nice for a change.
Red
Get rid
ropes,
like red
red
road.
ropes. Have the
Honestly, this kind of
TNA
requires her.
wrestling.com on the ring posts again.
Yeah,
Bring that
but
because everything and also bring back the bigger crowds because
yeah,
honestly, yeah, Impact is good, but it still puts me off when it just sounds like a damn indie crowd. Like
I think they're going. I think they're going to be working on that soon.
they got to work on it. Go back to Universal Studios. Go back to the OG Impact Zone. Go
I
back there,
have.
man.
Um,
No,
speaking,
no,
but
it's
moving.
not. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be 2 hours long. It's gonna be 3 hours because again, Monday Night Raw. Essentially, we'll be moving to FX.
Which it's funny enough. Actually, that was my next talking point in my notes.
Yeah, nice way to segue that, John L. Thank you for the help.
But yeah, Raw potentially moving to FX in 2024.
Yeah, they're essentially moving Monday Night Raw to FX 2024.
Because it's like
They're
obviously with
but
you
right
know
now it's not set in stone. They're the front runners right now. They're the front runners, but there's other
yeah. So
networks involved. So we have to wait until something is set in stone. But right now, FX
it
is the
seems
front
like it's
runner network.
definitely FX for the time being.
For the time,
But
yeah, for the time right now, it looks like FX is
but
gonna
we'll keep you
get
guys
Raw,
updated going forward.
but it might cycle through because other networks might want to be on here. Like before FX got into the fold here, you had Amazon want it,
I heard Netflix was as part of it
Netflix
too.
was wanting it.
I know a lot of
Um,
restaurants were pissed. It's like first one almost it's yeah.
but here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, it should be on cable TV. It should be on cable." No,
No one has
not in this
cable.
day and age. Not in this day and age, though, when cord cutting is a thing. So I think FX would be kind of a dumb move. It would kind of be a dumb
Yeah.
move, in my opinion,
Or
because
I would say if you I mean if you
I
want
would
something
give it. I would probably give it to Netflix. They've been dabbling. They've been kind of dipping their toe in the WWE thing.
yeah.
They had a few Netflix specials on there. The Undertaker thing for Halloween, which I thought was really fun. They had the Big Show, which honestly shouldn't have flopped, but it flopped. Because
Yeah. Like
I honestly thought that shit was funny, but not a lot of people watched it because not everybody was wrestling fans. Which honestly, you should just take an account that the only wrestling fans are going to watch it, so you can renew it for season 2. Netflix, not everybody's going to watch the shit.
I mean like I said, we see Amazon get
Amazon
probably
wants it because Amazon's doing live sports now. Amazon's doing
uh,
live sports with football, so I would think wrestling would be the next
why the
step.
hell not?
I would say Prime. I would say Prime would be a good fit too.
I don't
Netflix would
think
be a
nobody
good
talks
fit.
about this. Maybe put it on Peacock because people a lot of still watch a lot of stuff.
I
And
don't
again,
know.
Peacock,
I don't know. I don't know about Peacock. I don't know about. I would say either give it to Netflix or Prime because Netflix more so because they're dabbling in wrestling now because they just
yeah,
released a sports doc on wrestlers called Wrestlers. Really good documentary, by the way. It's a docu series, but yeah, they've been dabbling in wrestling a lot. So I would say Netflix would be a good fit. Um,
um,
They're like the only ones that should be doing live sports. So I would say, as a business move for Netflix, put Raw in there. Put Raw there.
Well, like I said,
Because
nothing set.
every other app is doing live sports. Max is now doing live sports. Uh, Prime's doing live sports, and Peacock's doing live sports.
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much. So
But
I would say give it to Netflix. Give it to
I
Netflix.
see say first
So
Netflix, but like Tyler said, there's nothing set in stone at the moment.
but
As
that's from like, yeah, it's nothing set in stone. But from a business standpoint, the other apps are doing live sports. Get Raw on Netflix, and we know for a fact Netflix is dabbling into wrestling a little bit. They have a
yeah,
wrestling docu-series out. They did some stuff with WWE. One thing was a flop. Again, I'm pissed about it. I'm salty about it. Okay, I'm very salty. They gave us one more Christmas special episode and they canceled it. Fucking Netflix.
um,
but yeah, then they had the Undertaker special. They had that show. They had that docu-series, wrestlers. Like I said, that would be the prime spot to put it in. Put Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
that's yeah. But sticking with WWE though, with NXT having the deal with CW, so there's been talks that WWE was talking about taking NXT on the road next year. So, which I have no
Whoa,
problem
whoa,
with.
whoa! So we're gonna have NXT in big arenas.
That's what according to what the one report
That's
that I
great.
saw.
That's great, man.
Is he was
Really
getting more
test these.
exposure on
Really
NXT.
test these. Yeah, and that's what I like about the NXT takeovers and stuff when they travel with like WrestleMania weekend or SummerSlam weekend and all that stuff. Like they test these wrestlers. Can you get over with a bigger crowd? Now you can do that on a consistent basis. I love that. I love that idea. I hope WWE goes through with that. I really do. Yeah, dude, Prime has ridiculous amounts of money. So
Money talks.
realistically speaking, I would think it would go to Prime. But from a
Because
business standpoint, I think it should go to Netflix. That's personal opinion. And from like a logic standpoint, they should go to Netflix. But we know, Prime is going to pay like billions of dollars. They're owned by a guy who owns a shipping company with a TV app, which garners even more money. And people primarily use Amazon Prime for shit, whether it's shipping or TV. So I would think, that I would definitely agree with you, man. They're gonna
well,
pay
if you will,
ridiculous amounts of
we'll
money.
wait and
They're
see
gonna
on
they're gonna
Sunday.
they're gonna throw the bag at WWE. They're gonna throw it out.
Because I mean,
But I
WWE
think, but either way, I would still think it'd be a good move because not everybody has cable anymore. They're cutting the
yeah,
cord. They're cutting cords because the expenses of having cable. Having
yeah,
like 5 or 6 streaming services is cheaper than having cable. So like it would be better for them to go to Netflix or Prime or any streaming service for that matter. I would be
yeah.
okay with I'd be okay with either, to be honest. I'd be okay with either Netflix or Prime. Yeah, that would be the case too. That would put off a lot of
A lot of
Netflix
promote a lot of people.
users. So then again, it should go to Netflix. I take it back. I didn't take that to account. Um, about they would have to hike the prices because they have a multi-billion-dollar company streaming their shit on your app. Yeah, and you have to pay for cameras. You have to pay for cameras
There's a lot of
for
expenses that goes
Netflix. You
into
have
it.
to pay for a lot of stuff, and it's not. And they don't and they know. I would think that we would know. Okay, that would be a bad move because Netflix. People are already pissed at Netflix for hiking prices every month. People are pissed at Netflix for that. So I would say go to Prime. Go to Prime because they have so much money to spend. They're not going to hike prices. Don't throw the bag at WB and don't even hike a price. Netflix, they don't have the cameras. They don't have, the live feeds. None of that. They don't have that. They specialize in just TV series or movies. They don't specialize in wrestling, or not wrestling, or live sports, so to speak, or live anything. So I honestly take my initial statement back. CR McCain, I take it back. I think it should go to Prime. It should go to Prime. Now I like the whole side deal with Netflix. You can release TV series and stuff. Like you can release some like documentaries on there. Stop just relying on Peacock. WWE, go do some Netflix stuff. I watch Netflix too, not just Peacock. I watch
Yeah.
Netflix. So like do that stuff and stop making hokey sitcoms for Netflix that apparently don't work. Even though the one sitcom I actually liked it and you canceled it, Netflix, and I hate you. Big Show's funny, Netflix.
But yeah.
He even makes fart jokes. Netflix, they're funny.
But yeah,
I'm kidding. Yeah, it's not wrestling. It's sports entertainment. They're more so they dabble in entertainment now. Like it's like there's wrestling sprinkled in, but it's I look at WWE and say, look, that's a TV show. It's not a wrestling show. It's a TV show with wrestling sprinkled in. There's violence sprinkled in.
So here's pretty much another thing that I didn't really have in my notes. So WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam actually had his take on why the company got rid of the hardcore title. And he pretty much says, it was a joke to them, but it said pretty much that's quote. It was a joke to them before I got it. That meant someone was getting a swirly in the bathroom or the taco stand was
What did he say? What the fuck he said? Somebody get put in the bathroom. Joke.
Hang on, let me backtrack that because what the hell? So it
was all I heard was bathroom. Like, what the hell happened in the bathroom?
So
we got no piss.
So pretty much he says, quote, it was a joke to them before I got it. That meant someone was getting a swirling. I'm sorry. I'm fucking dying over here.
Seriously, get it out, Rob.
Shut up.
Is it really that funny?
I can just see it in my head. Oh shit!
Wait, what did he say, Dylan? What did he say?
It says get shit.
All right, compose yourself. It has something to do with a bathroom. That's all I know. That's all I know.
It pretty much said that someone was getting a swirly in the bathroom. Or
what is this? High school? No, what is this? Middle school RVD? A swirly?
Or
no, I can see, dude. I can see Crash getting swirly. I can see that being Crash.
Also goes on to say, or the taco stand was going to get tipped over, ketchup in someone's eye. RVD said on a recent episode of his podcast, "One of a kind." He feels that
someone's going to throw a hot pile of fries on him. What?
Yeah, it's some of
the. Dude, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. That image caught in my head too, Rob. And for some reason, I'm just picturing Crash getting swirly.
Yeah, Crash is one of the but he also RVD also felt like the company or the WWE.
Like, I'm telling you, man, it's Crash that's getting swirly.
Oh, I could see that, but what I was going to say, but he also feels that the company never intended for the title to reach main event status. Pretty much saying, "quote I think that's why they got rid of it after winning and unifying the IC title." A champion versus champion match against then hardcore champion Tommy Dreamer in August of 2002. Van Dam RVD retired the hardcore title while on top of the card continued to perform the hardcore style he always felt more comfortable with. So pretty much. So yeah.
Like I'm okay. Like I was okay with the hardcore title, but the problem was it became 24/7. It became a little bit hokey. You had Crash getting put in a ball pit, and a random freaking Chuck E. Cheese, or whatever it was.
I forgot about that.
You had now the backstage stuff, whatever. Like, all right, cool. You get pinned, cool, whatever. Like, I would like it to like just stay in the confines of like in the arena, in a sense. But or on the outside sometimes, like make it a little bit crazy. But when you have people getting pinned in a ball pit at a freaking
Yeah.
fun time place where it was, um, it got hokey. When Crash won it and when he implemented the 24/7
Well,
rule, it got hokey.
well, so the bunny. So we did have a little bit of some breaking news, even though it's not really breaking anymore. Allie, or people don't know her as the Bunny, has been reportedly been let go by All Elite Wrestling. She is no
They
longer
weren't
with them.
doing good. They weren't doing shit with her anyway.
So pretty much,
They misused the shit out of her.
so
Like,
shout out to Colby Applegate for this article as well from WrestlingInc.com. Pretty much said, the Bunny is reportedly gone from AEW after fans noticed the Bunny was moved from the official online roster. Speculation picked up that she was gone from the company. Mike
dude,
Johnson of
good,
PW.
good. She was getting misused. I liked her run better than Impact. When they got her in AEW, I thought, yeah, okay, cool. But they become what 2016 or actually 2018, 2019, even 2020 WWE was an
Yeah.
over influx of talent that they're not even using half of. And she was one of the half they weren't even using.
So Mike Johnson of PW Insider has since reported that the two sides mutually agreed to part ways, although the details are known at this time. AEW has quietly released talent in the past, but no official statement until the talent comes forward with the news that or AEW President Tony Khan is directly asked. Yeah, well, we don't all know that how me and Tyler feel on him. The Bunny, formerly known as Sherry Bond, joined in 2019 after following a run with Impact Wrestling. Yeah, as Tyler put it too.
I would have her come back to Impact as like a ghost of Allie because she remember like she was killed on Impact, killed
Yeah.
killed off of Impact. So I would make her return. I would have her return and do something with Rosemary
Why the hell not? I mean, that'll be
to
nice.
where she comes back and she just like turns her head slightly and just waves with a smile,
Like a creepy smile on her face, and
like a creepy dude. That would be cool. That'd be a cool way to debut as
that would be nice.
like a dead version of Allie. Be really cool.
Kind of like put in like a storyline was that Rosemary has seen a
Like
ghost.
she's seen a ghost. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, CR McCain. Tony Khan looks like he smoked some of that good stuff, pretty much.
Tony Khan, he did that crack rock. He did that crack rock, bro.
Regardless,
He
though.
looks like he
Speaking
looks
of
like
Tony Khan, we have a couple
he
news.
looks like he did some he does stuff. He looks like he does stuff, man.
Speaking
Like
of Tony Khan,
he's like this half the time. He's like, oh guys, I got a special announcement.
oh boy,
And
that's why you
also
guys.
another problem that I have with AEW that I didn't expect that we had a long list of last week of AEW's issues. Not everything needs an announcement on TV, Tony.
Like you just tweet it out for crying out loud. Like
Just
if you go back to Wembley, tweet it out.
special announcement. All In's gonna return, and we've
You could
known
have
this
just
we've known this.
for
You said
months.
dude, we've known this. You said
Sometimes he doesn't even know, and that's the problem.
hold on, let me finish. We've known this, Tony, because you literally said at the All In presser, and honestly, before All In, you tweeted this shit out though. This could be an annual thing. This is going to be an annual thing.
Like we know
So we know, Tony. You didn't have to make that announcement on TV, Tony.
But speaking with Tony Khan, he also did reportedly turn down talks with the CW about an ROE show. And let's be real, no one's going to watch our Ring of Honor anyways because it hasn't really been what it once was.
Oh my god. I watched 5 episodes, the first 5 episodes, and I'm like, I ain't watching this shit. I deleted the Ring of Honor app off my TV.
I canceled my freaking Honor Club subscription. It
Dude,
was not.
we're done. We're done. We're done. And I leached off of you. And as soon as I said that I was done, you canceled the freaking subscription. You're like, I'm done too.
Because it's like the 10 match format stinks. Like there's no commercial break in between.
No, the commercial break thing, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, but you have 10 matches on the damn show. You don't need that many matches.
No, because what is usually
And
done? You
also,
have
what on earth
these.
are you doing using AEW talent in Ring of Honor talent in AEW?
It, yeah,
It makes the whole thing of being a separate company irrelevant because it's not a different company. It's just AEW light.
pretty much. But last and final thing before we get into our ending segment, you guys' favorite guest wrestler's theme song because I got this boy
I'm getting you, boy.
twice.
I'm getting you, boy.
Vince McMahon, WWE's Vince McMahon has put up more than 8 million shares of Class A TKO stock up for sale. So basically, as we talked about it multiple times, as you know, when TKO got rid of or moved on from Vince, pretty much his stock has pretty much been useless. And
Yeah,
true, they do, but
that's exactly what I'm saying, Sarah McCain. Or cool. I just realized it was cool. I agree. I agree with that, dude. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. They need a separate roster. They need Ring of Honor guys for Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor women for Ring of Honor. They need to just keep AEW and AEW and Ring of Honor and Ring of Honor. None of this bleeding through each other thing. None of that should happen. And I sat there and I looked at Rob like, man, I watched the first 5 episodes of Ring of Honor, and to me, it's just AEW light.
yeah.
It's just AEW light.
But yeah, with Vince selling most of his shares, that tells you that hopefully that should be done. So good riddance to that.
He's selling his side of the company. He's selling his side of the company. Good. Bye. See you. Go to prison for all I care for what you did
Pretty
the
much,
last
he's selling
30 years.
of the stake with the newly minted TKO group holdings, according and after he was listed as a liability in an SEC filing. Just leave it at that. But
Yeah.
final
Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. All right. Shit.
But yeah, but shout out to everyone that's been in the chat though. If you guys are new, make sure you definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys will see this next Monday, next week for episode number 60, which is fantastic. It's great that we're getting back up to we're at 60 episodes of this show with but
You
yeah,
ready?
shoot, lay it on me.
Oh. I'll be it. I'll be in and out. So if it lags, I'm sorry.
I'll be okay.
Railroad trains and echo calls. The lonesome country sky.
All right. Railroad train.
Laying down the rhythm that money just can't buy.
For some reason, that theme song Biscuits and nah.
This redneck won't go out without a fight. Won't go down without.
Red.
So I'm gonna have to punch someone tonight.
Okay, so it's a redneck. There's a redneck character. Okay. How far back are we going?
I would say mid 2000s.
Like between 05 to 08, somewhere around there, in that time frame.
I would say probably around 06.
Okay, so 06, that's a redneck. Jimmy Wang Yang can be thrown out for whatever reason.
Right.
That's the one. For some reason, Jimmy Wang Yang came to my head because he's the one that portrayed. Actually, had
Motherfucker!
Was it Jimmy
It's
Wang
literally
Yang?
him. It's literally fucking him.
God!
It's literally Jimmy Wang Yang, bro. I tried to get you with Jimmy Wang Yang, and you got it. Fuck.
You almost got me. It's the railroad part that almost threw me off for whatever reason.
I almost had you. Shit.
because when I heard the word redneck in the songs, that's Jimmy Wang Yang. That because I could see.
But there's been a lot of rednecks in WWE though.
Yeah, because I was thinking Jesse and Festus was another one that almost came to my head for whatever reason.
Oh, sorry.
Because I was thinking of the gravy, like a gravy train. That's what I'm thinking. Right, the gravy train of biscuit wheels for some reason. That's what it came to my head. I'm trying to think who, and I think there was another guy that I'm thinking of. Oh, Trevor Murdoch is who I'm thinking. Who's another guy that I was thinking of for whatever reason. Because he sounds like a redneck name to me, but I just had to guess Joe Wang Yang. And last before we get up out of here, the last guess thing. This dude completely whipped on Mr. fucking Kennedy.
Bye, Philly.
But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys for hanging out, and we are out.
Peace.